your 80s, 60s.
We never come forward and say we don't need capital, capital, capital.
No cap. To be capped up.
9 o'clock on the dot, no you should tap me. Here for an hour, I promise this talk is heavy. I'm cooking, just get it started, don't go asking if it's ready. I'll be damned like we bout to break a levee. I sweat all of this content, push my conscience to a beautiful dark, twisted fantasy. I'm a monster, my posture looking like we was winning Oscars. Far from an act, but still acting like we got sponsors. Define us by the work we do, you know the work of few. Willing to get down in the trenches for the perfect view. So if you at me, then be sure to mention purpose too. And alignment, we own it, far from consignment. I seen the light, it was blind to contribute this all the timing. Let it breathe till you find it. Get fresh, then set the table for guests. I told you that we was cooking, this compliments to the chef. Let's go.
It's Arsenio!
Good morning, creative family. Welcome to another episode of Cook in the Late Night. I am your host, Cook, and as you can see, it's we here for the season. Halloween is in a couple days, so we did the dress up night. So I'm here as your guy, Arsenio Hall. I'm excited to be here with you guys. We have another amazing show lined up for you. We have the one and only Nicole Briana. I'm talking digital marketer, radio personality, my ace boom coon, my right hand when I'm out in these DMV streets. She's going to be out here with us tonight. And so with that said, we're going to kick this off right. And we're going to switch it up tonight too. We normally got the producer for you, but tonight we got a new artist, Young Shan, who's going to be premiering one of her videos on the show. Check out this clip right here.
Don't know where we going. I hope it's not too late for you to search for me. Much better if you love me the way I loved you. Life would be much better if you fucked me the way I fucked you. Life would be much better if I can call on you. Life would be much better if I ain't fall for you. I should've known better, but that don't make it better, babe. I should've known better, but that don't make it better, babe. I should've known better, but that don't make it better, babe.
Yo, I cannot wait to see the rest of that video later on in the show. But y'all know the vibes. Y'all know what time it is. I have my special guest right here, Nicole Briana. What's up? You look good tonight, girl.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, everybody.
How you feel?
I'm good. I just realized my live isn't live.
You not live? All right, so here's what we're going to do. Oh, you're just like recording a story over there, huh?
Actually, it's not doing anything. You're just looking at us.
All right, we'll
But
take
hey,
care of that.
everybody, I'm so excited to be here with Cook in the late night show. I've been waiting on my moment, honestly.
Yo, this is your moment, so please take the time to introduce yourself. Tell us about who you are.
I am Nicole Briana, aka government name Nicole Williams. Don't tell anybody. I am a freelance media personality in the DMV area, and I own my own digital marketing company called Social Me Solutions, where we focus on taking your brand beyond a double tap.
Hey, yo, I love that. And you've been in these social media streets for a while. You started off on the influencer side of things. Talk about what actually, let's not even talk about what got you in social media from the start. Let's talk about this even more. One, you went to Townsend. What was your major? How'd your journey begin?
Did I go to Towson?
No,
I did, but
you don't want to rep them? You don't want to rep them?
I believe in leaving things where they may lay, which are in the past. So I'm just kidding. Towson was cool. I actually transferred to Towson from Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia. We're not going to talk about it. Either we're going to leave that in the past. But my time at Towson was really cool. Honestly, if I could tell something to my younger self, it would be to network harder and play more. And the reason why I say that is because now looking back, college is an infrastructure like a safety net for you. So for me personally, social media and even radio wasn't really a major at Towson. So I was taking classes in communication, but it wasn't fully my passion. And so if I would have played more, networked even harder, I can only imagine where I would be.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, I mean, but so all right. So where did you actually start to find yourself, like in this social media space, like actually interested in? Like how did it gain your interest for that part?
Funny enough, that is one thing. I was always interested in social media. My degree is in public relations, which when I graduated, I actually was like, not confused, but I was wandering, okay? Because it was just like I went to different events and panels and stuff like that, just like I do now. And I met a publicist, and I was just like, yeah, I'm really into social media, but my background's in PR. She's like, girl, mine too, but the way these artists and clients are, the quickest thing is social media. So publicists are now social media managers. Granted, yes, PR is still a real thing, and there's more to it, but my love had already been there, and then my public relations background and my love of media is just kind of what tied it together, and that's where I landed.
Yo, that's interesting, and I'm looking forward to it because I know there's still some parts of your journey that I haven't fully dived into, and just although we kicked it a lot, you definitely kind of impact this community a lot, and you find yourself active. And when I say active, like I mean active in a lot of ways. We gonna highlight young Nick though, because you was talking to her earlier. Like tell us, looking at this and the excitement, right? The joy on her face, right?
Y'all, he doesn't respect me.
No, first off, I respect you way more than a little bit, all right?
He
I
trolls
see some.
my Facebook.
No. I saw something. I'm like, nope, we're gonna stay far away from that.
Yeah,
because
stay focused.
this the homie. But we
Hi,
gonna
Mom.
selfie only. Mom proud of the graduation, right?
No, she loves it. She loves it.
But for yourself, like, so this is like the time in which you was talking about, like, yeah, you were excited about just this industry of it, but still finding your way. So you kind of became an influencer. What is an influencer to the creative space out there? Like, how do you view an influencer?
I wanna be semi-politically correct, and when I say this, I believe an influencer is someone who can move the culture and someone who can move those around them, right?
Yeah.
So again,
I like
there's
that.
I guess we could go into like levels of what an influencer is and what a thought leader is and a culture mover or whatever the case may be. But an influencer to me is someone who creates impact. I think, okay, that's the best definition. Someone who can create an impact. And it could be minute, it could be major, and so on and so forth, but just being able to do the action of making someone do something.
Yeah. No, and I asked you that question specifically because you are a thought leader. You're not just like an influencer in the bad sense of the word, where
Yeah.
everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're an influencer. Like, you just take pictures for likes. Like, it's not that. It's
Yeah.
taking your platform and using your narrative to kind of guide people in a direction in a space that you think is going to create that type of change and
Yeah,
type
no,
of impact.
definitely.
So with it being more of a, in the terms of profession, right? Like the social media management. Right? It's very new in the grand scheme of it. How did you find yourself getting into social media management? Like going from being the actual, focus and product to using that insight that you had to create other opportunities for others?
I think it's really because I always love a good challenge, and it's like, marketing and social media management for a young, single, black woman millennial is easy compared to a boring engineering company, right? So it's like, let me see what I can't manage, right?
Yeah.
And I've basically managed just about everything at this point, and I'm continuing to challenge myself. So if it's something that I haven't done yet, I have to educate myself and do market research. What's working for their industry? I cannot utilize the same strategies for every client because that's just not how their market works. And things I do for myself on my social platforms, I may or I may not use for clients because, again, their audience is different. the purpose is different and things like that, which I feel like is just my last little point. But I feel like that's a really important piece to say because so many people who are influencers become social media managers and they just can't crack it. So thank you for your input, but no thank you because you do not even have the level of capacity to understand what it takes to actually make these brands successful online.
Yo, nah, like I want to drop a bomb. Like if this was like the Joe Button podcast, and remember, like because I mean, no, what you're saying though, it's not only a great great perspective, right?
Yeah.
But it also talks about, you know, there's one way there's one level in doing it yourself, but there's a certain skill in doing it for others because they might not be you, right? Like the things that people follow you for, they're not going to follow another brand for.
Yeah.
And I think that it's very interesting, especially when you look at how a lot of corporate brands are trying to become more personalities themselves,
Ooh,
right?
talk about
Like
it.
you look at like we watch the Versus battle and how oftentimes like in that BET you jump on here, this was our jam. Like come on, you BET. Like talk about from
Yeah.
being in this space and how do you create personality for companies? Like how do you go about that yourself?
I think creating a personality that is really important. But first, you need to know who your audience is. Who is your audience and who is your market? Because your audience could be very different than who your market is, right?
That's big, that's
I
big.
mean, there are stories of different businesses and brands who are like, oh yeah, I made this product for, um, you know, Group A. And then really Group D freaking loves it and spends the most money on it. So it's like either you need to reevaluate who you're targeting or you need to do a better job of actually trying to hit your demographic. And so with that being understood, that's the first step for me. Who are you targeting? What is the age range? And what are they even into? I'm not going to, if I'm doing a clothing brand or something like that, we're not going to go high in luxury when we're focusing on department stores. So we're going to create a tone and we're going to create a strategy for someone who is shopping in the Walmarts, the Payless, the Burlington co-factories, not people who are in Louis Vuitton, Gucci, so on and so forth.
Yo, man, it's nothing but gems coming from you tonight. Like, but you a gem dropper. This your lifestyle. This how
Well
you live.
worth the wait, huh?
You know. All right. Okay. Nah, but you my peoples. I definitely see this. And so, at what point did you go from I can manage other people's profiles to let me create a business managing people's profiles?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, like, can I curse?
You can be. Hey, your mom watching.
Hey, I think at the end of the day, money talks and bullshit walks. And for me in my journey, because I am a lover of so many things, it's like, so I have a video on Instagram where I always say, like, I am good at many things, and I'd rather keep it that way rather than being the best at one thing. Because that just keeps me so fluid. I love to continue to learn new things, which even goes to say when I said like all of the different types of clients. And with that being said, it's like in my journey, this is something that was in my top and it was making me the most money. And I know, and I knew at the time there was even more money to be made. So it's like, why do it full time for one brand or business and have them just down my neck and hate where I was when I could do it for multiple brands, multiple businesses, small businesses. So that was really the drive and the love of it. Now, do I still want to dabble in those other areas? Absolutely. Will I? Hell yeah.
No, and to that point, I think is not only just understanding that, you created several opportunities instead of being tied down to one,
Yeah.
But it's such a young field in the grand schemes of careers, right? It's in somewhat still the wild, wild west where you can kind of develop yourself. Go ahead, set yourself. You trying to make sure your shot look right. Nah, that's cool. Get yourself together. Get your social strategy up. Like this, this your brand, And actually, let's jump into that.
It was blocking my smile, and you know that is part of the brand.
Hey, nah, sell yourself. This is you. But nah, even better, like, talk about, all right, let's talk about yourself as a brand.
Yeah.
Because you yourself became a brand. How does one first identify and building their own brand as themselves? Or how did you find out like, oh, I can bring value just by being myself?
I don't think that I ever didn't think that. which I know it's like, oh, well, at what point did this click? That shit been clicked. Like,
No, talk
for
heavy.
real though. Like,
Yeah.
I have to take you back in order to show you and tell you why I am where I am now. And so to be clear, Nicole has always been the one who, we're talking morning announcements in elementary school. We're talking already involved in every type of club and activity.
Oh, well, let's talk a video of like just Nicole, Briana in the interview streets, cause you've been out here, like you really been here. As we gonna queue up real quick for the good people out there.
Yeah, okay. Run my
It's cut
record.
away from you. You good? You know, but like
No, it's fine.
but this is
I'm
essentially.
looking. That's why I was making this face. I was looking.
Oh, you're
but
trying
no,
to
it's
see.
fine. Yes.
No, it's all
I
happening.
approve of this video.
I'm Nicole Briana.
Yeah, I approve of this video.
Look, let me
It's
tell
on
you
there.
something. Again, it's a certain level of respect you have to have someone when you have a platform.
Yeah.
And two, when you're actually friends with them in real life.
Yeah.
Because it is not only about just developing great content, and this is kind of just a grand scheme thing, but it's also about respecting someone's profession.
Yeah.
Because you put out certain things that you want certain people to know of, and there's
Yeah.
other things that you keep reserved for your friends and family.
Absolutely.
Let's just actually talk about that part of how do you control what you like, what's the boundaries for yourself?
Yeah, I think, well, first off, as, people hear this all the time, it's like, don't put anything on the internet that you don't want on the front paper, right? So I live my life by that, so much so. Granted, I really never even used to, like, curse online or in videos because it is like, oh my God, but let's be clear, I am grown. Like, I am full on grown, and it's like, I am becoming comfortable in who I am as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then again, look at who the hell our president is, and all of these qualified people who are getting positions. So that's that on that piece. But yeah.
No, and I mean, I think that, like, honestly, it goes to this old analogy a manager of mine says, what my supervisor told me is like, look, as a store manager, what you do in increments, your staff will do in excess.
Yeah.
And so your reference is perfect. Like, our president is on Twitter saying whatever the hell he pleases.
Yeah.
Like, why do I need to censor myself on my platform?
Yeah.
You know, the newest appointed Supreme Court justice has like
God.
0 years of experience.
Oh God.
So why do I need to
She got
have
a job for life, honey.
for life? And why do I need to have a 12 a
child.
master's degree and 12
Yeah.
years experience? So I think one thing that you've done well too is you created the opportunity for yourself before you were necessarily accepted in that role.
Ooh.
Talk about building that. Like, even from radio shows, like, what made you go into that
Damn.
space? Hey,
That's
man,
really
I'm
good,
here.
and I'm actually gonna play this back because I need that. I'm gonna do something with that. No, seriously, that line like really speaks to me because I think that is, at this point, that is literally who I am. It's like, I graduated college. Again, my degree was in public relations. I had dabbled in broadcasting, and the broadcasting was my passion. Again, I wanted to be the 106 in Park host. I wanted, some type of, Oprah Winfrey show. I don't think maybe Wendy was around, but that type of vibe, right?
Sure.
So really the countdown, that type of fun vibes, but I could transition into the more, this type of talk show
Sure.
situation. But again, fresh out of college and not having my full degree in broadcasting, I was a bit discouraged, and I did apply to a bunch of news stations. I had interned with news stations, and then I had followed like Raven Paris and Jay Hill, and because I had just finished in Baltimore, I was familiar with them, and that's how I came upon like the opportunity to dabble in radio. And from the radio journey, I loved it, I did it, and then I also found an opportunity to also do social media management, and then I was just kind of like balancing the two, and then finally the social media world just continued to like take over, and it was just everything that I loved, and I just never want to stop.
Yeah, I love that transition, but more importantly, I love that you owning your journey, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people passively go through things.
Yeah.
They find themselves like, man, one day, like, I will it. I manifest it.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. People say, oh, I'm going to have this in my life, but the action doesn't follow what they're trying to attract.
Yeah.
And so for you went on that track. You went out to get it. Like, not only were you aware of a Raven Paris, but you would end up working with a Raven Paris. You end
Oh
up,
my God, yeah, those are like my friends now.
like legit. And
Yeah.
talk about just how you built that network though, because I think
Yeah.
that is also what helped elevate you in some of the spaces that you were
So
able
I
to go
think
to.
I really feel like these two questions like tie in together, right? Like, how did you create the opportunity and how did you build the network?
Yeah.
Because I created the opportunities is how I built the network. So it's like, we talked about this I think in a clubhouse room, and it was just talking about do your research, right? Do your research and know who's in the industry. Even as an influencer, you can't say you want to do a campaign for Dove and you don't know who the Dove influencers are because you might not be their steez. So it's the same thing. I wanted to do radio, and I knew who my peers were, or I knew what smaller market opportunities there were, and I followed them. I saw what they were into, and literally, Jay Hill just goes random on the story, yo, they looking for some new co-hosts, and I shot my shot, and I got that opportunity, and then again years later. And through consistency, being in the right rooms is how I built those connections and those networks to be able to be like, yo, Jay Hill is bro. Like, Raven Paris, that's it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know these people. I'm genuinely friends with them.
No, you tapped in for real, like not even for play. And I think the part of that even goes bigger for me is, you created lasting relationships.
Yes.
You didn't take an opportunity and step on somebody and to elevate yourself.
Yeah.
Once you gain that opportunity, you built out. You literally built with that person.
Yeah.
And I can say that from personal experience. Like, we were put together for an event I did a couple years back, and it could have been a one-off thing. It was a wild thing that happened that night, but it was a definitely interesting. Nothing
happened?
crazy. Remember, there was the artist who had all the paintings that everyone was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah,
And
y'all, I didn't know anything about this man, and the circumstances around him hiring me as well were a little questionable. But we're not gonna talk about that. I'm not gonna put you on that blast.
I mean, you already did. Now I'm getting quiet.
Yes, there were a few like quirky things happening at this said brunch, but again, the person who had connected us, they vouched. And again, there were still so many positives from that brunch, so it was just like, whatever. And then we reconnected. Maybe it was over a year later.
Yeah,
it was a big time gap.
Nah, we took some time, and I think that was when we bounced back last year, actually, when we like really hit the ground running.
It's really only been a year.
I mean,
I don't think so. I think there might have been some smaller pockets.
Yeah, but we actually worked together again.
The
there was a lot of things.
Working stuff.
And nah, man, in honor of the day of, I might as well drop this clip on y'all.
See, but you don't respect me because you didn't realize I was wearing the same dress in both videos, and that's why. But y'all,
no, you had a coat on. You had a coat on in the
But
other
you know
one.
what? Y'all love this dress.
Hey, it worked. It should get the bag dress.
And it has like a little cutout in the bag. Y'all, I have several photos over the years.
That should get to the bag dress. Like,
that
look.
is my dress.
Oh, I gotta go do a shoot today.
I am giving body.
First off, I hope you got like a sponsorship by that company, like
I
whoever.
didn't say who the company was.
I know. I mean, I'm telling you.
It could be Nicole, Briana.
It could be you. That's the
Clothing
joke
line
you
coming soon.
First and foremost, I can't stand you.
But yeah, you don't respect me.
I respect you 1,000% because this video was actually something I shared on my social media.
Yeah.
Literally a year ago to the date that we are doing this.
Yes.
And that's why I brought it up, not to put you on blast. But man, in this year it's been a lot of things.
Bruh.
A lot of things.
This year didn't go the way I thought this year would go.
You're lucky I bring out the New Year's, bringing up us turning up for the R&B party. That could have been another celebration. We thought 2020 was gonna be lit.
Bro, we thought 2020. I wish you had that. You need to post that video. Oh wait, you don't have the. There's a video of me. Like I posted the one from that night, but there's another video of me literally outside, like 2020. Nobody's gonna say no to me, and I wish you had that right now because oh boy, how stupid, naive, and little did I freaking know 2020 was gonna give me hell.
Yo, that's when you should like freeze frame, and it was at this moment.
It was at this very moment.
Chief. Yo, but I bring this video up because man, it shows like, or honestly to me it tells a story about how life can change fast. In a year's time, things change. But one thing I realized is your consistency hasn't. Talk to the point of being consistent, even in a year of trials and tribulations.
Yeah. So I'm gonna answer and interject. Consistency is important, but being whole and being prepared for consistency is even more important. And because of COVID, I had 3 months off. Like I went home to my parents' house. I lived by myself, but I went home to my parents' house and got stuck for 3 months. I didn't do any work and I didn't see any checks. But when I came home, my mindset was different. I was different and I was ready to be consistent. Again, yes, if we're talking in longevity and long term over the years, absolutely. The consistency has been there. I'm working. I mean, my new thing that I'm consistently telling my mom is I am grinding a little bit different now because I am working for the tax bracket in which I would like to be in, and I am preparing myself to provide the lifestyle that I want for the goals that I have for my family, my future family, and the family that I already have.
Sure.
So at this point, shit real different for me.
You sound like you're working to become a Republican.
I'm not working to become a Republican, but I'm working
Nah,
for some different shit over
I gotta
here.
if I can't get my jokes off, what are we here for?
Yeah, but your jokes are never funny.
Dog, I'm hilarious. Yo, you're a hater. Wow.
Send help.
So y'all seen a couple episodes. Nah, but with that said, for you though, your hustle is definitely kicked up a notch. Like
Yeah.
I've even seen it like
Yeah.
in the past several months.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that you're also good at not only just networking for yourself, but networking to connect others.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You put together a whole chat called the DMV Connects, and now that it's public and on Clubhouse, we can talk about it in public.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
but what even went into just doing something as simple as that? Because it seemed like, yo, why wasn't this done before?
Yeah, I mean, so it's like my track record shows that sometimes I don't listen until my back is against the wall. And again, maybe this could be for others as well. But it was like I was consistently tired of being forgotten about or left out in a sense of like, oh, you're at a BET premiere event? Damn, why you ain't invite me? Oh, whole time, I forgot. Just remind me the next time or something like that. And again, yes, it did happen vice versa, right? You have friends in the industry who are like, oh, damn, this would have been a great opportunity and you didn't invite me. So it's like, well, if I just have this support group or this quick group, I can literally push it to the masses and we can help to support each other.
Yeah.
And on top of it, it was also like, I hated going places alone. Like, you know, sometimes when you're in an industry and you don't necessarily have quote unquote industry friends yet, it was like I'm bringing friends who aren't interested in the same things. And then it was like they were bored. I had to leave early. Like, I couldn't really enjoy where I was going. So it's like, well, if I could share information, receive information, and have people to go to these things with, that would be best. So that's really how it started. And then now that Clubhouse has, you know, come about, it's like I'm super excited because I would love to grow it even more. Because like you said, my thing is like, I'm the plug. I like to be the plug. You know, I might not be the biggest plug yet, but I'm going to continue to be as plugged in and as plugged as I can be.
No, you got a lot of watts in your plug. I'll give you that. Like you got some power, some juice in it. You know, but even what you're saying in that regard, you know, and building that space and creating these opportunities, you know, it's oftentimes, you know, where you find yourself even not only just elevating yourself and your network,
Yeah.
but the position that you hold now in that is different. Like now people look at you like, yo, you are the plug. Like you are this person. You do have this leverage,
Yeah.
you know, and with great power comes great responsibility.
Indeed.
So, you know, talk about like what it means for yourself as you're managing your brand, client's brand, and this just growing brand
Yeah.
of being the plug. And I have a follow up after that.
I mean, heavy is the head that wears the crown. So it's always, that's just, again, I already, even before I get to places, I'm already prepared for it, right? So life is really about preparation. So I can just make it as personal as possible to connect it to the question. It's like, one day I'm going to be a wife. One day I'm going to be a mother. I don't want to step into that role before I'm prepared. And granted, I may not be trying to do either within the next week or so. However, what am I doing that a year, 3 years, 5 years from now prepared me for when those moments happen? And it's literally the same thing in business. If you want to be a boss, act like a boss. If you're gonna run a company, learn how to follow orders first, right? Because people think that once you start a company, once you're the boss, you don't work for anybody. You work for your client.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you could let a client go at any point in time, but you're going to have to get another client. You got to get another retainer. You have to appease the masses for your audience to sell your products.
Yeah.
You got to send up, like, the list goes on. And I mean, life ain't that sweet. If you really want sugar sweet, sit at home and just, you know,
No,
be there.
I mean, there's two ways to get it, right? There's the consistent way, and this isn't a knock to anyone with a 9 to 5, but
Yeah.
you know, you can find yourself in a job that gives you structure, gives you orders,
Yeah.
and pays you every 2 weeks. That's a choice.
Yeah.
Then there's a choice to take the risk on. I gotta go and actually convince people to spend their hard-earned money or passive
Yeah.
money on me, you know. And the one question that I did want to bring up, because I didn't want to, you know, alienate anyone in the audience. We've been talking about Clubhouse. That is a new app, a new feature. Could you
Yeah.
share a little bit about that app and what you found a liking to it, being that you're in the social media game?
I found that I'm a Clubhouse addict. My name is Nicole. I am sorry. I have been on Clubhouse. What is today?
And today's the
29th?
29th.
29th. I've been on the Clubhouse for about 2 weeks. I actually checked my hours. I spend approximately 3 hours a day on it, sometimes more. Today I did about 5 to 6. But yeah, that's my addiction. So now that I've given the truth, let me tell you what it is. Clubhouse is a new social media interactive platform where it is audio only. And yeah, it literally is what it sounds like, which is really funny. It's a clubhouse full of different rooms and clubs and engagement. And I mean, I don't want to give them any more than that because they're not cutting a check yet.
Ooh, I mean, no, that's valid. And I apologize for putting you on the spot and talking about a new app that you retweet and share often. But you know,
No, I don't care. I'm just saying
I'm
that's the
messing
end of their commercial.
no, 100%. They didn't pay for any more time slot than that.
Absolutely not.
But the one thing that I would say just in that little 5 seconds for me on that is that
Yeah.
you know, it offers really an opportunity to really get to dive deeper into someone's intellect. You know, you really get to see, like, yo, are you really about that life,
Yeah.
or you know, are you corny in real life? And I mean, there's a lot of corny people out there, and there's a lot of dope people out there.
Yeah.
And you'll find that, you know, that has nothing to do with status. That has nothing to do with a check next to someone's Instagram account or their Twitter account. You know, it has everything to do with someone's morals and
Yeah.
their standards. And, you know, for yourself, you're someone who set a high bar for yourself, you know, and a high standard in your industry. Talk about what are some of the ways that you talked about preparing for those next levels and next steps. What does that look like for you? Like, what do you see yourself stepping into?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good question. So, I feel myself not necessarily stepping into, I feel myself leaning into. And what I mean by that is I've already stepped. Like, at this point, where I am and everything that I dabble in is exactly what I want to continue to do. Again, who knows what that evolution looks like in a couple of years? It could grow into other things, or, you know, as things start to pop up, that's cool too. But I fully will continue to lean into, of course, the social media management piece, continuing to work with even more brands, bigger brands. And as I work with bigger brands, how can I still continue to support smaller brands? I already provide through my company, you know, strategy sessions and coaching for business owners, for businesses. I definitely want to lean more into the teaching aspect, maybe partnering with companies to teach staff, partnering with universities to teach students, and all of that. However, there is also something that I am in the works for with the education and programming piece for my digital marketing company that I will really be full on leaning into 2021.
That's lit, first and foremost. And first, I want to give you a flower and just say I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
As an actual friend, as someone who's seen you grind, who's seen you acquire clients, to see you like say, you know, I'm thinking
Yeah.
about doing this.
Yeah.
You really do activate that.
Yeah.
Another thing that you not only activate business, but you're a legit activist. Like, you find yourself actually speaking out for different things, you know, and I wanna you know, just reference, like, even this was a couple years back.
This was
you know,
many years back. This was blue hair Nicole, baby. Blue green hair Nicole, okay?
but she's out in the streets, she's using her voice, and she is active in seeking change.
Yeah.
Talk about that being a part of your brand. Like how do you consistently do that while you're managing and working with other brands and businesses, and how they align?
Because let me be very clear. I'm consistently upset by the way that others continue to murder my people, my brothers, my sisters, you know, what could be my children. Like, it upsets me, and I do not stand for it. So, absolutely, Black lives do matter, and fuck those who don't think so.
And there you have it.
So it's really that point blank period.
Sure.
And I'm not gonna say like, oh my God, I'm at every protest or whatever, because that is a bit older. And to talk about like recent protests and things like that, I didn't necessarily feel that my calling was in protesting anymore, right? Because again, we're pulling up that photo that is from maybe 2014. So we're talking 6 years ago. I've been walking. I've been protesting. I took my residents with me to that protest as when I was an RA. So what I felt more led to do this time was let me support the protesters. Let me, of course, utilize my online platform to promote or support or, you know, encourage others to be there. And then when they are there, how can I support? So I was able to work with a nonprofit and just, you know, put sandwiches together, be out, yo, y'all need water, what you need, like, hey, this is where the meetup is. And so that was what I was led to do in this current climate and in this current state. But if what is going on in the world does not fucking affect you, please seek help. Like, seriously, please seek help because that is an issue. So you don't have to be the loudest. You don't have to be at every rally. But somebody, some higher power somewhere is calling you to do something. And if you are blatantly ignoring that, yeah, you need to seek some mental help.
And the biggest thing for that is just understanding, you know, first off, you 1,000%
not
you.
really sure what else to
But
say.
but what it is for me, and what I don't want anyone to miss out in this space is understanding that no matter how large your platform is, no matter what position you may be in life or whatever you may be, you have an opportunity. You would just start dancing.
Oh, I'm just trying to be in costume so like people know like what
why
I
you
am.
dress like that.
Yeah, like who I am.
Nah, this is how you give it up. This
I want them to understand, but
You want to tell them what you are? You haven't told them. You just in
I'm
costume.
the girl from Austin Powers. I don't know. I'm like a 70s chick, y'all.
You could have just did that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
is it 70s though? I didn't really know the right decade, but y'all know who I am.
maybe.
Y'all know what I am.
Yeah, I would say 60s. Was it 60s, 70s? It was something.
I really don't know, but
Anybody
I'm
out
cute.
there? Yeah, you got it. But no, to the point we were just talking about, which was serious. Nah, but just like that idea of no matter what your platform size is, use it for the things that you believe in. And if you believe in nothing, why have a platform? Personally.
If you believe in nothing, seek help.
That's why but that's why you don't need a platform. You need to go get yourself right.
Yeah.
Figure out where your morals stand and align yourself with something. You know, but bigger than that, you know, on the radio side, right? Because now you've been able to acquire opportunities like DTLR Radio. Speak to just, you know, the personality of Nicole Briana. Like, what's the radio one like? Because you're giving it to us tonight as well. Like, very well media trained.
Oh my God, am I?
Oh yeah. What I think I hear you saying is.
I would like to pivot that point. I'm not gonna do it. I can't. What was the question? Who is Radio Nicole?
Because there's Radio Nicole, and then there's another Nicole that I don't even know I can ask the world about. But this is Nicole. You out here.
So okay, Radio Nicole. Let's be clear. Like we talked about earlier. It's like I'm leaning into who I am. I'm standing in who I am, right? And I'm getting comfortable in who I am. So Radio Nicole is still exactly who Nicole Williams is, right? When I go into meetings with clients, of course things might be a bit more polished or, you know, whatever the case may be, but there is no difference. When I post radio stuff, my clients are gonna see it. Like, I don't block them. I'm not moving like that. So if you know, we can even have differences, right? Like, if you don't necessarily lean into everything that I'm into, that's fine. You know, we're different people. My clients and some of my clients and I come from different walks of life, and that's totally understandable. I can agree to disagree and respect you as you respect me in that capacity. So Radio Nicole is exactly the same person as the Nicole Briana on all social platforms. Um, Nicole Williams, Nicole Briana, like it's the same person.
You absolutely are. And my question to you now in this space, because for anyone, all the things that you do can seem like
Yeah.
taxing.
Yeah.
So how do you restore? What is restoration like? You talked about becoming whole.
Yeah.
What's that process look like?
Yeah. So manifestation is really big, and I know y'all love hating on B Simone, but she had it right when she talked about manifestation. You have power in your words. You have great power when you write things down, and even more so when you make things tangible, right? So I very much so believe in mood boards. And I do, or vision boards, sorry, vision boards. And so I've done a vision board at least for the past 3 years. And even though I think I was a little bit late on this year's vision board, or it took me a while, something like that, but I did it. And one of the big things for 2020 for me was healing. And healing can look like different things for everybody. I need to heal over an ex. I need to heal over, not making it to the NFL.
The job opportunity.
Yeah, job opportunities, heal within the family. And for me, it was about healing and becoming what I feel is whole, right? So that balance of the trio, mental, physical, and spiritual. I'm a certified personal trainer. I love fitness, right? So that's the physical. I am a pescatarian, so I'm really big and I'm really into like holistic health and just how you eat and all of that good stuff. And then what was that? Physical.
Physical.
That. And then
mental,
spiritual.
mental,
Boom.
and the
I was on
spiritual.
spiritual.
We out here.
We here. Anyways, and then the spiritual piece is my personal relationship with God. So I have in this year alone, and even prior, I have taken the necessary steps that I feel to strengthen each piece of those pillars. I have gotten a therapist. I'm so excited about that. I'm being on my third session, so that's something I just started recently. But I have been actively looking for one because there are things that I wanted to work through. You don't have to have a lifetime movie trauma to see a therapist. Like maybe you just need to learn how to talk to people.
Yo, honestly, if I can keep it a buck with you,
Yeah.
like I think that therapy should be a part of high school, like because like
Bruh,
no
yeah.
matter what, like no matter what stage of life you are, whether you have no income or
Yep.
you're wealthy,
Yes.
you have some level of trauma that relates to your level of life.
Yes.
And it
them
doesn't
counselors
change
not
it.
counseling.
Dog, that has nothing to do. Like
Yeah.
they barely want to get you into college, let alone ask you what you've been through. Like
Yeah.
so I definitely think that therapy is something that should, one, become normalized,
Yeah.
and two, especially in the black community, because it's one where if you look back just 2 to 3 generations, you're looking at
Generational
like
trauma. Yeah.
you're looking at slavery for some, and
Yeah.
and for a lot,
Poverty.
and even
before
that.
slavery,
And
yeah.
so now that systemic process that they put you through is now being passed down, and
Absolutely.
we're finally a generation that's saying, you know what, hey, this isn't how we need to
Absolutely.
live. So
Yeah.
I love that for you.
Yeah, so I mean that was a really big piece, and then again the spiritual aspect, just holding myself accountable. I've always had devotionals, but it's like, am I waking up, and am I also being, am I being intentional with my time with God, right? And so whatever you believe in, that is fine. My higher power that I connect to is God, and it's like, oh, I have a devotional, or oh, I watch church. But again, am I removing all other distractions? When we go to the club, we're immersed in the club. When we're in a meeting or we're at work, we're immersed in that meeting and work. So why can't God get the same type of time? And so that's what, I started better focusing there. And then, of course, the physical piece, just continuing to work out and to live my best life. And again, every day is another step at working to be better in all of those areas. Because nothing is ever going to be perfect. I'm not going to be in the gym 7 days a week. I'm not going to X, Y, and Z. But I have goals, and I'm going to continue to better myself in all of those areas.
Look, you've dropped so many great things in this evening. There is the consistent question that I always ask on this show that I want to pose to you,
Yeah.
of course, and that's the same one as always. What does legacy look like for you?
Generational wealth.
Yeah. I mean, for of course.
I mean, like, I don't want that to sound cliche or sound surface level, but to me, generational wealth will breed generational opportunity. And again, yes, I could leave my kids with too much money to ever spend, and they could spend it and lose it in some
Sure.
capacity. But I think that like being able to provide my legacy with even more opportunity, and of course leading through example of how not to be an idiot with it, um, will definitely set my family on a different, or my legacy on a different path. And again, as I've mentioned to you, I'm already like that's already the trajectory.
Absolutely.
And to also be clear, it's like money is not everything. So it could even just become a thing of my name being the legacy, right? The wealth is rich in not just currency,
Right.
rich in whatever.
Yeah, because I mean,
So
it'd carry weight, for
yeah,
them to say, oh yeah, my such and such is Nicole
wealth of
Briana.
knowledge.
It's like,
Yeah.
yo, oh, Nicole, come in,
Yeah,
you
wealth
taken
of
care of.
information.
A
Like
thousand
I
percent.
want to leave my legacy wealth in
That's lit.
all capacities.
That's lit. Look, so with that said, young and wealthy, please, how can the people support you? Where can they follow you at?
Absolutely.
Drop
You
all
guys
that.
can connect with me at the Nicole Brianna on literally every single platform. And you can check out my website, thenicolebrianna.com, if you would like to connect on a business aspect as far as for digital marketing. You're an entrepreneur, you are a brand. We're talking, you need social strategies, you need mentoring, coaching, or you need the full on management. You can check out socialmesolutions.com. You can also follow us on Instagram. Shoot us an email at info@socialmesolutions.com. Again, I look forward to connecting with anyone, everybody, about whatever. However, I can be an asset to you or, a blessing to your company or brand. So, yeah, let's connect.
Hey, look, that couldn't go any further than that. So you know what? You guys have been waiting long enough. We're going to drop this artist's new video. Check out Young Shan's latest video right here.
From Detroit to Westside.
Take me back to the things that we had. Made me forget about the things that went bad. You got me built up in emotions. Don't know where we going. I hope it's not too late for you to switch. Life would be much better if you loved me the way I loved you. Life would be much better if you fucked me the way I fucked you. Life would be much better if I can call on you. Life would be much better if I fall for you. I should've known better, but that don't make it better, babe. I should've known better, but that don't make it better, babe. I should've known better, but that don't make it better, babe. I should've known better, but that don't make it better, babe. Was I not good enough to give you what you please? Did I not cater to your wants and all your needs? Tell me, is this deja vu? Hurting, but I play it cool. Beating myself up inside, hate when I make space for you. And it's crazy, looking for your love on a daily. This type of shit don't faze me. Just look at how you made me. Looking at you like a lesson. My love you couldn't question. Cause I've been down like 10 toes. Life would be much better if you loved me the way I loved you. Life would be much better if you fucked me the way I fucked you. Life would be much better if I can call on you. Life would be much better if I fall for you. I should've known better, but that don't make it better, babe. I should've known better, but that don't make it better, babe. I should've known better, but that don't make it better, babe. I should've known better, but that don't make it better, babe. Wasn't I good enough to give you what you please, babe?
Hey yo, that was Young Shan's better video. Talented young artist. Shout out to my guy Ahmad for putting me on to her music, man. Really dope talent. And again, this is the morning show for creatives, so you know we got to bring you guys something fresh every time. I want to thank my special guest, Nicole Briana, for again coming through with not only the energy, but the knowledge and just the whole just direction for anyone who wants to stand in themselves. Understand that that's what creativity is, and that's how we push the culture forward. So with that said, good morning to all my creatives out there. Stay cooking.